we could turn around and say that it works for everybody. The likelihood is that you're going to have successful agents and reasonably successful agents, and then not successful agents within not just Keller Williams but the whole of the estate agency industry right now. Whether you're in the high street, whether you're working online, whatever that you're doing, you're going to have good, bad, and and obviously average. So, what characteristics do the successful agents have? So someone's watching a video and they're intrigued by what it is and how it's going to work, and we'll get onto that in a little bit more detail soon. But as a characteristic, what's a requirement? Who doesn't it work for, rather than who does? If you're a certain type of individual, who will it not work for?
People that expect things to land in their laps. Frankly, anybody that is driven and motivated and wants to succeed knows you get out what you put in. It's really that simple. It'd be great if you had a world full of entrepreneurs, but if you had that, you'd have empty shops. You still need people to be employees, and you still need people to help bring your ideas to life, I guess. So you're always going to need people that are actually quite happy working for someone else and not too deterred by the fact that, yes, there's going to be a ceiling to their earnings. Not everybody's the same. But this will work fantastically well for people that actually don't want to have a ceiling to their earning. And
if everyone sat down in a room, which again, life just go by so quickly, family life included, work, you just get on with it day in, day out, try and be successful as you can.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just lose track of where you are.
Yeah.
So I feel, and the people that we've seen so far, is that when you get people in a room and you turn around and you say, what's your big why? Why are you doing this? Are you happy with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? A lot of people would actually say no, and they don't realise until they've been asked to actually document it, and then they suddenly go, actually, if I was to define my life again between now and the end of my life, without getting too dark about it, but what do I want to achieve? We're only here once. It goes by pretty quick. Personally, I want that flexibility and to be able to choose how I work, when I work. I work all the time anyway, but that's just me.
Choice.
That's my choice. I can't help it. But others would want that flexibility around lots of different factors around their life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realise that until they actually sit down with, say, you and Hannah, who do that onboarding and that first part of the training.
I don't think many people have ever been asked that question, and in fact, a couple of people have said that to me, like no one's ever asked me that before. Because we get so busy living, we forget to actually have a life. And that's just like that is, as you say, it's just life. It's just normal. You get most people, I think, if they're already in this industry, and I ask them how they got into it, most people fell into it. I don't think there's many people that said, I grew up wanting to be an estate agent. It turns out that way.
I didn't.
No.
I didn't. For 10 years, I just wouldn't admit I was.
No.
I think that's a bit sad though within the industry as a whole, is that the industry isn't looked upon by the public as being a great industry to be in. We all kind of don't really want to say we're agents. We say we're property experts and things.
That's because the model doesn't allow you to provide phenomenal service, but this model does.
Okay, why?
Because it's all about the agent. So the agent is getting a majority of the fee because they're the business owner.
How much do they get?
Anything between 63% and 90%. So some of our best agents, I would say, once you've capped, so you've driven a certain amount of money into the market centre, once you've done that, you then keep the full 90% of the fee. 10% always goes to Keller Williams in the US and growth share. So it's 63% up until, obviously, you've capped. And our best agents are capping sort of within inside 6 months. So for the rest of the 6 months of the year following, then they're getting 90%. So obviously you've got the time to deliver that phenomenal service. It matters to you as well because it's your business. You want that repeat business. You want to give phenomenal service. And most of the agents that I have spoken to do want to deliver fantastic service.
Absolutely.
They're just bound by the risks because of the model that they're in. It's
they
just
don't have the time.
No, of course they don't, because they're getting 4%. I spoke to somebody the other day, it said they get 4% of what the client pays. which means they need to list as many properties as they can,
It's
sell
an
as many as they
interesting
can.
thing, isn't it? Sometimes, someone turns around, some of the agents that we've spoken to so far turn around and go, yeah, I get 8%, and they're really proud of that. But it's
Giving
like,
away 92.
it's brilliant, compared to some out there, and you're obviously very good at your job.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, what's holding you back from wanting that 92% yourself?
I think it's fear. It's only
fear.
ever going to be fear, because they just don't know. They don't know how they would do that alone, but that's the beauty.
But
of
if you're an
the model.
agent now and you're, say, well known in your area, you're
Yeah.
a branch manager of a successful market leading agency, let's just say.
Yeah.
So as a branch manager, you would probably like to think that you're reasonably well known within the area.
Yeah.
And reasonably good at your job,
Yeah.
or very good at your job to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
So for people like that, what's to stop them from going out and launching their business? What's, from your conversations, what's the holdback for them to do it?
Well, before they sit in front of me, it's the cost. It's the fear of how much they're going to have to lay out themselves to be able to get off the ground.
You mean in terms of running their own business
Well,
away
yeah,
from Keller Williams?
Rightmove and Zoopla is
Yeah.
crippling people at the moment, those individual businesses as well that are already out there that are struggling. Of course, not forgetting we can help those as well, still keeping their name above the door. But yeah, Rightmove, Zoopla costs, at premises, what's that going to cost in rates as well? Wages, if you're going to obviously employ people, your own salary you need to take from it. There's a lot of things to consider. But obviously the Keller model, it takes all that away, and it takes all the barriers to entry away and enables you to run your own business within the infrastructure of it.